I'm going to quickly take you through creating your artwork using Khan Academy, some of the skills you might need to use. So when you go into Khan Academy, just go into Subjects and Computer Programming. And when you do that, you should end up at this place here. And what you want to do is once you're at Computer Programming is just scroll down till you get to create a new program and then click on New JavaScript Program. When this opens, you're going to get a blank canvas. It won't have anything in there. I've already put some stuff in. So there'll be nothing there. And what you want to do is you want to save this, probably before you do anything. Just call it something, you know, so art1, whatever you want, just so that whatever you do then is going to be able to be saved. Now the kind of skills that you're going to want to be able to do is to create different shapes and also different fills and outlines. So remember that the different shapes are all in documentation here, and this is the types of shapes that you can use. I'm just going to do some things now with ellipse and point and line, just so you can get the idea of how they work. I'm probably triangle as well. So the first one I'm going to do, I might do rectangle, why not? So we'll do all the different ones. So I'm just going to type in, just very quickly, just going to make up some numbers and just revise with you how to use this. So remember, you can click on any of the numbers and you can move them left and right, up and down. And these two numbers here are going to give it a different width and a different height. So you can create different shapes like that. So the rectangle, you know that you've got the same thing with the circle or ellipse, you know, moving left and right, moving up and down, making it fatter this way, oops, and making it taller. So you can do that kind of thing. The triangle is a bit more annoying. You can see when I type triangle, see it's got 6 things, and you can hover over them and it tells you that these are the X and Y coordinates of the first vertex, which means one corner. These are a pair for the second vertex and these are a pair for the third. So I'm actually just going to put in a bunch of different numbers here, and we can modify them so you can see how this works. Now this triangle looks funny, but what I'm going to do is just modify the first 2 things. Now you can see when I modify that, do you see this point here is moving up and down? So when I move this, it moves up and down. When I move this, it moves it left and right. If I move these 2 numbers here in the middle, that will move my other vertex or corner. So you can see it's moving this corner here, left and right. This one will move the same corner up and down. So I'm actually going to put it there. And this pair will then move this corner that I hadn't moved yet. It will move it left and right, and it will move it up and down. So sort of making a face. So that's your triangle. Other shapes that are really useful are the line. Now the line has 2 ends on it, and this works kind of similar to the triangle. So when you have a line, if you change these numbers, you change left and right and up and down for one end of the line. So you can see it's this end here. This end is going to be changed left and right and up and down with the last 2 numbers. So they happen in pairs, yeah? This is one end of the line, this is the other end of the line. So that's the line one. The next one is point. Now point actually just needs 2 things, an X coordinate and a Y coordinate. I'm just going to use 60 and 70. Now sometimes with point it's a little bit hard to see it, so I'm actually going to move it around, and you might be able to see there's a little point here. Now it's hard to see because the outline on these shapes is quite small. So I'm going to do something called stroke weight. Stroke weight tells us how thick the lines are. So it's a number that specifies how thick it is. If we do like the number 5, can you see now that my point, I'm going to move this around now, you can see it moving. You can make this really thick if you want, it makes it a big circle, or you can make it, you know, much smaller. And the cool thing about stroke weight is that you can actually use this for other shapes. So you could use this like maybe in front of the triangle here, and it'll make the triangle thicker. Or I could make it 10, makes it really thick. But do you see that everything underneath is going to have that stroke weight? So that's why the line got thick as well. Now the standard stroke weight in Khan Academy is 1. So if you want to go back to just what it normally is, just put stroke weight 1 above what you want, and now that goes back to being normal. So stroke weight's a really great way of changing the width of a line. You might also like to change the color of a line. So for the triangle, I'm going to make this actually a different color, not black. So the command is stroke, and then it's just like fill. So you can change the outline. And again, do you see that the line and the point, as well as that triangle, have all turned green? I'll make it blue because I like blue. It's because everything underneath here, all of this stuff, anything that's underneath is being colored by this. So if you want these other things, these other outlines to be a different color, you just have to pop another stroke in, and maybe you want them to be black again. So see how they've all turned black? Everything under here is now black. So that's how you can do stroke. The last thing you might like to do is you might like to be able to fill shapes. So I'm going to do a fill. I'm going to fill these maybe green. Again, see everything underneath fill, all of this stuff is green because this is green. If I want my circle to be a different color, I'll put another fill here and then change it. So you have to actually put new fills after, and it'll fill everything below. So, you know, you can just do it that way. So it's sort of a bit annoying, but you do have to just keep on top of what you're filling, what color. So you can very quickly create something that's, you know, really interesting. The last thing I'm just going to show you is that if you're doing point, you'll notice that the point here, I'll just make it a bit bigger so you can see. Point actually needs, you can't use fill for point, so you can only use stroke. So that's why here you can change the color of it by using the stroke command instead. So that's really going to get you through using all your different shapes. If you're interested in other shapes, you can use the fish and the arc and the quadrilateral. You can experiment with them, and you can also import shapes. I guess the other thing that I did want to show you is text, because text is really useful. You can see the commands are text, text font, and text size. So I'm actually going to do text and text size just to finish off. So I'm going to put some text in. Now you can put whatever message you want in, so mine's going to go hello, and you put coordinates in. Now the coordinates tell you where you're going to put your text. So just going to do that. When you do the message, it has to have little quotes around it, okay, because otherwise it won't show up. So you can see the little word hello there. When you do things like text size, it's just like stroke. You can make it a different size. So you can make it bigger. And these two numbers here move it around. So you could move it maybe across, and then you could move it, you know, wherever, down. You can see here that the color is yellow. It's because of the fill from up here. So text uses the same sort of idea. So you can put a fill above it and then maybe change it to maybe red. I want to have red text there, or orange. So what you've now learned is how to do all your different shapes, how to move them around, how to change the outline colors, and also how to add some text. Experiment too with the fonts and things. And final one, just because I saw it, background. Background will color the background, and you should put background at the top just so you can keep track of it. So if you want to color the background, you could use just a big rectangle, or you can use the background command to color it in. But they're all the things that should get you well on your way to creating a work of art. Good luck. Oh, and make sure you save.